I do just want to follow up real quick because, again, we posted that clip from last week's show about our discussion about Franco Colapinto, since we do talk a lot of F2 on this show, and Colapinto getting the call up to replace Logan Sargent at Williams' seat, despite only being, I think, 6th at the time in the Formula 2 standings. But he is a part of the Williams Driver Academy. I think, again, like I said on last week's show, it wasn't so much a matter of, we thought of this guy negatively. It's just that we didn't think of him much at all because, F2 hasn't gotten as much attention here in the United States as F1 has during this boom period in the last half decade or so. So I think people were just unfamiliar with him and, just wanted to kind of have a wait and see sort of approach here, especially coming off of Monza, which is, even though 12th place was certainly a great run on debut, it's been a track where Williams has been better than average compared to where we expect them to be in the running order and results over the last several seasons here. But let's give Colapinto his flowers as well. Alex Albon P7, Colapinto P8. So already 4 points in the bag, double points for Williams this weekend. And again, as much as I hate to admit it as an American, and I certainly understand the emotions of the Argentinian fan base as well, because we were going through it with Logan Sargent the last couple of years. Of course, we wanted to see Logan do well, but I think Williams probably vindicated already at this point with how well Colapinto ran. And again, I think that, just if I could say anything to the fans that, were commenting on our video or thought that we were, being overly critical of Franco, I want to just make it clear, it's our job to look at these things through an objective lens. We still potentially, obviously being in America, we felt bad for Logan Sargent getting drops, but at some point we do have to be honest. And I think we were honest last week that, it was probably time for Williams to make a change for their own best interests and for evaluating one of their academy drivers. But again, Logan Sargent also finished 12th on his debut for Williams at Bahrain in 2023. I think a lot of people might forget that. So my only thing was, look, it was a great debut, but I just want to see, and I still want to see, because, as Jackson mentioned on wrap up last night, Williams is a team that seems to excel on tracks with these long straightaways. And I think Singapore is really going to be the true test for them, a much tighter, twistier street circuit. I want to see how Colapinto gets on there. And if he does, quite well, I don't expect a points finish this weekend because, quite frankly, I don't think the Williams car is going to be capable of that, even for Alex Albon. But, if he goes out, has a clean race and finishes, high enough to the point where he's punching above his weight, that's great. Nobody's sitting here rooting against Colapinto simply because he replaced Logan Sargent. I think that we all just want to look at him through an objective lens here. I think much of the American fan base still doesn't know very much about him. He certainly made his name known over these last couple of weeks here, his first 2 starts. But that's all it was here. We have to look at this through a reasonable and objective lens. And, I saw it again, one of the fans in our comment section last week was saying, you have to understand us Argentine fans are passionate and fired up. And we're so high on this kid that we expect him to win a race this year. We expect him to at least get a podium. And I couldn't help but sit back and just kind of chuckle because, you could put Lewis Hamilton or Max Verstappen or, any Formula One legend behind the wheel of this year's Williams. I still think, the chances of them getting a podium, they might get you 2 or 3 tenths a lap, but
you could put Superman in a Williams and he's not making the podium.
It's just not feasible. Yeah. So I think, again, and it's difficult to come at this, given who the driver being replaced was, because we feel the same way too. We're all sports fans here at the end of the day. We all get passionate and fired up about it, but we also have to be reasonable and we have to look at things realistically. And I think that, Franco Colapinto has a certain set number of objectives that Williams is expecting him to hit. Obviously, Logan Sargent was unable to hit his. That's why he ultimately got dropped. But Franco's gone out and done a hell of a job, I think, these first 2 starts, and he deserves a lot of credit for that. So, again, I'm really looking forward to seeing a variety of tracks here for him as he finishes out the year. And I think his future is going to be very interesting because, we know Carlos Sainz is coming into that car next year. The 2025 grid looks like it's set for the most part. We still have a couple of questions, regarding the second AlphaTauri seat, I think, or AlphaTauri, my goodness. I still can't get used to the V-carb name. The second RB seat and the Kick Sauber seat as well. But hey, if he goes out and starts making these points finishes a regular thing, I don't know if there's room at the driver academy team that he's a part of right now with Williams. Obviously not on 25, but if you're a Sauber, do you look at this kid and think, hey, maybe he might be an option for our second seat next year, or whatever the case may be, if he continues to punch above his weight like this. So, that's really, I wanted to kind of draw it to a conclusion here, and it got so much attention, so many comments that I felt like we just had to come on here and address that really quickly. And again, fans are certainly entitled to their opinion. The only thing that we ask is that you keep it respectful and not hurl personal insults our way, because we're certainly not going to do that to you all. That's the only thing that we ask. But we welcome all the passionate fans of this great sport that we love to comment your opinions, make your voices heard, and we'll engage in that discussion with you. But let's just keep it civil, keep it respectful, and remember, at the end of the day, it's all just a game. It's all just sports, and it's not necessarily as serious as we think it is sometimes here. We all just want to enjoy the same thing here and enjoy each other's company and conversation.
Yeah, and for Baku, that was a fantastic drive for Colapinto. He really benefited off the contact with Sergio Perez and Carlos Sainz there, brought out the safety car. But I mean that's one of the toughest. I think one of the toughest circuits you can go to. But I mean, it's tight as Monaco, but you can go a little bit faster in some areas. So it's very impressive. And yeah, I want to see him make his way out to places like Singapore, where you can get a little more speed as well. And we'll see what the different variety of tracks will hold. But yeah, certainly nothing against Colapinto. We want to see him do well, and it's going to be interesting to watch. I'm going to give it the Sheev Palpatine. We're going to watch his career with great interest.
Yeah. And again, one more thing, and then we'll move on here. But I also want to make clear, and I think Jackson made this clear last week as well. I don't think it was part of what we clipped here, but I think you saw it with Canapino and IndyCar this year. I think there are some bad apples in the Argentina fan base that unfortunately give them that kind of reputation. We're certainly not saying that represents the fan base as a whole. There are great, passionate sports fans in Argentina, and we got a couple of comments from them as well this week. So it's certainly not trying to paint everybody in that kind of light here. I want to invite you all to engage with us and join the conversation. And and I'm not even saying you have to agree with us. I want people to disagree with us. I want us to be challenged in our viewpoints and perspectives, because I feel like that only strengthens our own arguments here. I welcome the disagreement. I welcome the discussion, but just keep it civil and respectful. That's the only thing that we're asking here.